So as of now, Nikola Jokic is number 1 in MVP voting, but only because Steph Curry is in a slump and Kevin Durant is injured. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I think that Nikola Jokic deserves to be the MVP, even when everyone else in the NBA is healthy and 100%. Because I truly believe that he is better than Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and every other player in the NBA. I will go over his stats, play style, the reasons why people think he will not win MVP, and then I will prove why I think that he should win MVP. And on top of it, one player in particular has been rising up the MVP ranks, and that player is Ja Morant. So in today's video, I will kill two birds with one stone and talk about both Jokic and Ja. I will go over Ja's stats and play style, and why I think that he should be an MVP candidate, and it involves comparing him to Derrick Rose. So since we have two topics today, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. First, we will start off with Nikola Jokic, and right now I'm going to put a timestamp up for when I start talking about Ja Morant right here. Alright, Nikola Jokic is putting up historic numbers, averaging 26 points a game, which is 8th in the league, 14 rebounds, which is 2nd in the league behind Rudy Gobert, and 7.5 assists, which is 9th in the league, and 7.5 assists is absolutely elite for a 7-foot big man, because obviously traditional centers they're not known for passing the ball. He is also averaging 1.5 steals per game and about a block. His efficiency is amazing, shooting 57% from the field and 37% from 3 on a lot of shots a game, all while playing 33 minutes a night, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot for the stats he is putting up. We also can't forget how Nikola Jokic is the highest PER rating of all time, and it isn't close. His true shooting percentage is 64.8%, which isn't near the highest this season, but it's extremely high for the amount of shots he takes. Now I will talk about Nikola Jokic's playstyle. Jokic is a very unique big man. It seems that he is a point guard in a 7-footer's body because he always looks to start a play and make a pass. He plays very unselfish and isn't a traditional center who posts up and grabs rebounds. He does much more than that. He can dribble, shoot, pass, post up, rebound, guard the perimeter, rim protect, set screens, and has a very high IQ. The only thing he lacks is athleticism, weighing 249 pounds and lacks muscle, but he has an amazing, versatile all-around game. His defense used to be a liability, but this season he has become a much better defender, whether it be perimeter defense, interior defense, or pick-and-roll defense. Jokic always finds a way to make flashy passes and boost his teammates when he is on the court, and I think that he is the best passing center we've ever seen. Now, obviously, when you look at the MVP ladder, Jokic is number 1 as I'm recording this, but you can tell that he isn't supposed to be there. The only reason he's number 1 is because Steph has been on an atrocious slump as of late, while KD has an MCL injury and will be out for 6 to 8 weeks, so his chances of the MVP are probably done. Yes, Giannis and Joel Embiid have been really picking it up lately, but I said it very early into the NBA season. I think Jokic deserves to repeat. But there are two main reasons from the media as to why the media does not think Jokic deserves to be MVP. So I'm going to look at them and I am going to prove why he should still win it. So the first reason is Nikola Jokic isn't really a flashy player when you compare him to other MVP candidates. If you were going to compare him to, say, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry's playstyle, obviously he's known for shooting crazy threes, deep threes, and has insane handles, and overall just a very flashy player, hitting logo threes and getting lots of ankle breakers. Kevin Durant is a 7-footer who can dribble and score from anywhere on the court. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is a force to be reckoned with in the paint, getting posters everywhere. But when you look at Nikola Jokic, he's not very flashy. Like, he doesn't hit deep threes, he doesn't have amazing handles, he doesn't get posters all the time. And to casual NBA fans that are voting for the MVP, they're not going to choose Nikola Jokic because all they see from him is a big man who knows how to pass. But Jokic's playstyle goes so much more deeper than that. He plays with perfection. His footwork is amazing. His playmaking, as I've said so many times already, is absolutely elite for a big man. He always knows when to make the right pass IQ, pass vision, pass accuracy, all of that is elite, and he always knows how to complete the pass, and overall, he just gives a boost to his team on the court. So to counter that argument, Nikola Jokic, just because he isn't as flashy as some of the other players in the MVP conversation, that does not mean that he is worse than them. And I think that he's better. And number 2, Nikola Jokic is on a bad, or I guess you could say decent team this season, and he's nowhere up in the elite teams because, as you know, most MVPs in the past are from teams that are like a top 3 seed in their respective conference. And the one exception over the years has been Russell Westbrook, where he won the MVP when his Oklahoma City Thunder were the 6th seed. But other than that, they're usually top 3 seeds. As of right now, the Denver Nuggets are currently 23-21, which is 6th in the Western Conference. And I think that we can use another exception and give it to Nikola Jokic once again. And now before you say, oh, he's not very impactful, look at Steph Curry, his Warriors are amazing. Look at Giannis, the Bucks are very good. And then look at Jokic, the Nuggets are just fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. You can't really use that excuse because when you compare the supporting cast, Nikola Jokic has a much worse team. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are out for the entire season most likely, and Nikola Jokic has really carried this team. Just like the Russell Westbrook MVP season, Nikola Jokic is putting up nearly a 30-point triple-double. Granted, the numbers are a little bit worse. He is shooting more efficient while playing better defense. You could just get into a whole argument on who's having a better season, but the point is, I think that we should use this exception on Nikola Jokic, and don't say his impact is bad. Because when you look at the Denver Nuggets when Nikola Jokic is on the court versus when he's off, you could see that the Nuggets are succeeding when he's on, and then when they're off, they kind of stink. So you can't just look at the records to determine whether a player has an impact on a team or not. Nikola Jokic is putting up great numbers, and when he is on the court, he is making a difference. And that's all you can ask for in an MVP. It's not his fault that he doesn't have the supporting cast that other stars do. So those are basically the 2 reasons for Nikola Jokic's case of winning MVP. But unfortunately, I don't think it would happen. Obviously, I do think he should win MVP, but the media will want to see somebody else win the MVP because they're just not going to want to see repeats over and over again, and they're going to choose someone else. But still, I think Nikola Jokic will be the best player in the NBA, whether he wins or not. Now let's move on to the second part of this video about Ja Morant. Ja Morant has been spectacular this season, leading the Grizzlies to the 3 seed at the moment with a record of 32-16. Taking a look at his stats, he's putting up 25, 6, and 7 on 49, 36, and 78 splits with a steal per game as well. I am now going to be talking about Ja being in the MVP conversation, and truly, I think that he should be up there. And to prove it, I will compare Ja to 2011 MVP Derrick Rose. Obviously, Ja won't ever be a prime Derrick Rose, but he's been doing Derrick Rose things. I will compare their stats, play style, and impact they've had on their team to prove that Ja shouldn't be too far back of top 5 for MVP. Let's start off with their play styles. Both are very athletic and explosive point guards who have no problem blowing by anyone and making a tough finish at the rim. They can also run and facilitate an offense and do well at creating their own shot with their crafty, unique ball handling. They are both below average shooters for point guards but can knock down a 3 here and there. Also, they really excel when they get the mismatch, and they have a lot of gravity when driving to the rim, in which they then can pass to the open player with their amazing pass vision. Now we will go over their stats. I already went over Ja Morant's stats, and I'm going to look at 2011 MVP Derrick Rose stats. Rose averaged 25, 4, and 7 with a steal, shooting splits being 44, 33, and 86. Comparing that to Ja averages the same amount of points, more rebounds, more assists, and shoots the ball more efficiently from everywhere except the line, and they take pretty much the same amount of shots per game. As you can see, they are very similar when it comes to stats, and the teams around them are similar. Speaking of teams, the final thing I will go over is their impact on their respective teams. Both teams were disappointing, I guess you could say, the season before. The 09-10 Bulls went 41-41 and were the 8th seed. Fast forward next season, Derrick Rose takes a huge leap and becomes the youngest player to ever win MVP, and the Bulls win an amazing 62-20 as the 1st seed. We can see the leap Rose took to give his team the 1st seed and obviously win an MVP. Just last season, the Grizzlies were 38-34 and were the 8th seed, just like the Bulls. Now, fast forward to this season, and Ja Morant takes a big leap, just like Derrick Rose, and as of now, the Memphis Grizzlies are 32-16 and are the 3rd seed. We cannot forget that these big leaps both happen in their 3rd season. And my final similarity is that Both of these players put small market and pretty much irrelevant teams on the map, and the Bulls and Grizzlies finally became recognized once each of the respective point guards came around and helped them become recognized. So in conclusion, if Derrick Rose was putting up these stats, getting the MVP, then Ja Morant putting up these stats, arguably better stats, should at least be in the conversation. Because obviously I don't think he's going to get it because standards have changed and there's a lot of great talent in the NBA. But it just proves, like, if you're comparing him to a former MVP and he's arguably better this season than the former MVP, then he at least deserves to be recognized. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed of me talking about why I think Nikola Jokic is the MVP and why Ja Morant deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.